Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Music Scene Investigation. Rich Wildman here with you. Glad to have you with us today. Going to be an extra special show. Mark my words on that. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now, before I get to anything and everything, I got to tell you, I read an article out on Google Plus today talking about music reviews. How this person was asked to review an album, didn't like music reviews, thought music reviews were way too mired in personal opinion and things like that. Well, there's really not a way to get around personal opinion to a degree. However, we here at Music Scene Investigation do try and do that by offering technical reviews that artists can use to hopefully make their music better. And that's just what we do here on MSI. One of the things we like to do at the top of the show is tell you how you, as an indie artist, can become part of the show. And to do that, just very simply go to MusicSceneInvestigation.com and submit your music. It's that simple. And what we do is we'll take 3 of those songs every week that are submitted, and we select them randomly, and we place them in front of our panelist for review. Now, unlike most review shows, our panelists don't get to hear the music ahead of time, nor do they know the genre of the music they're listening to or the artist who created the music. So you basically... They're doing these reviews blind, I guess is the best way to put it. And they do very, very good at it. I've got to tell you that. Every week we bring together a panel of experts, 2 in-house panelists and 1 guest panelist. And we're happy to bring them all together again today. Let's meet our in-house panelist. Before we go any further, it is Tom Chianti from New York City. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Okay, Rich. Glad to be here as usual. Hello, everybody. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
So we talked earlier today. In New York, it was around 90 degrees at, 1 o'clock this afternoon?
About 12 o'clock, yeah. It's still hovering in the 90s, and it's just a little humid, that's all.
Well, I tell you don't look any worse for the wear, Tommy. I mean, your hair looks great, and you're bright-eyed and perky and everything else.
And bushy-faced.
That was something I was going to leave to you to say. But we're glad you're with us, Tommy. As always, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
All right, now let's go and take our ways across the pond and meet our second in-house panelist. It is Ian Husbands. Ian, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you, Rich, and everyone else?
Doing all right. I can't speak for everyone else, however.
Well, they can speak for themselves. You all right, guys?
Yeah, and if you you got to make sure you join us in the chat room, MusicSceneInvestigation.com. Head over to that live page, and there is a chat link there. So, Ian, let me ask you something. The Star Wars T-shirt is out. What kind of T-shirt you have on today?
Well, this is Attica's clothing this week. It's got a dead budgie on it.
I don't know what that is.
What, a budgie? Budgerigar. Or canary, it's something along that line.
I see. So you're having designers send you these shirts all the time, is it?
That's right. Everyone sends me their T-shirts so I can wear them on the show.
Excellent. Well, that's great.
They don't, but they should do. I would wear them, and I'm a sort of large, extra large, depending on the cut of your T-shirt. So if you want to send them to Ian, care of Music Scene Investigation.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I've got some witness statements for us, Rich.
Let's get into the witness statements.
From last week's show, and Song 3 came out on top of Best Songwriting, Best Performance, and Best Mix and Production, with 67% of the votes in every category.
Well, that's amazing, because...
They all agreed with us.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Song 3 was selected as Song of the Week.
So it's good to see that people are actually agreeing with what we're saying, and we're not just uttering utter crap.
Well, that is good to know. I mean, otherwise, why are we doing this? I mean, really. Last week, for those who may not remember, the artists that were part of the show were Candy Cigarettes, Wrong Foot Forward, and Rumor Den, as Ian just mentioned, was song number 3 with Under a Cloud, which was selected as Song of the Week. Thanks, Ian.
And
appreciate
the winner of the witness statement as well.
and winner of the witness statement as well. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Ian. Now, our guest panelist today has been with us a number of times before, in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, but we're always happy to have him back with us from the Live2Play Network. It's Mr. Bill Evans. How are you, Bill? Glad to have you back.
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, all things considered. I mean,
nobody ever asks Rich how he's doing.
No, they don't.
I do.
There's a reason. There's a reason. We don't care.
Sorry, I'm just really surprised. Where's the hat, dude?
Oh, you know what? It's downstairs.
I've never seen you without it. I thought it was just naturally part of your head.
No, not today.
Well, I'll tell you, Bill, it's always good to have you back. You guys have been very busy over at the Live2Play Sound Pro Live site over the last number of months. You've done a redesign of the Live2Play network. The Sound Pro Live is hopping along madly. I go over there and take a look at what's going on. It just amazes me how much content you guys are putting out. And now you've delved into the new ministry work, the ministry site you guys have put up, worship site, which is amazing stuff as well. So how is all that coming along now? I know you're busier than a one-arm paper hanger, as I like to say.
Yeah, as a sound company owner who I love says, I'm like the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, just spinning. It's going really well. I mean, it's crazy that we're trying to do this with what, 3 full-time people and then 1 part-time person. So, and actually, in the next few months, we'll be launching another channel called Live2Play Acoustic.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So Live2Play Acoustic, all things acoustic.
Yeah, really focused on the roots music. What over here they call Americana. I don't know what they call it on Ian's side of the pond. Blues and country, especially kind of that blues, country, folk, those genres, because there's not anybody out there that I can see serving those audiences really well.
Well, I've got a title track for your site then.
Oh,
it's
cool.
called. It's a track I did a number of years ago called "How to Sing the Blues," and I'll send you a link to it.
Cool.
But all right, so the acoustic site coming up. Have you guys now? I know that you guys over at Sound Pro Live, Live2Play Network, do a lot with NAMM and things like that. Any new shows, conventions, conferences you guys have on the calendar?
We just got done doing Infocom and Summer NAMM. But it really has kind of slowed down in terms of trade shows, at least in the States. There's a whole bunch of new ones over in Europe. And we may start doing some of those next year. Plane tickets are expensive. But yeah, we're really down to maybe 3 or 4 at the most a year here. The business has fallen off kind of a lot, except for a couple of big shows. I don't even know if I'm going to AES this year.
So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So basically,
I did go last year.
Yeah, basically what that means is you're just so busy that tearing yourself away from these things is getting more and more difficult.
Well, it comes down to, can I justify the time?
Yeah, as you said, with three people, plugging away, it's kind of hard to get away from it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Tom, I don't want to hear any bitching about the heat. It was 98 degrees at 11 p.m. last night.
Oh, really?
Yep. Which is usually not bad, but it's actually been kind of wet here in Vegas. We had our monsoonal moisture come through and got an inch and a half of rain in 20 minutes, which floods the streets and all kinds of fun stuff.
Well, that'll do you for the year.
We get about 3-4 inches a year.
So
I think, don't you get that in like an hour?
That's a lot of rain.
Yeah, it really is. And Ian, how much rain have you gotten over the last month?
It's actually the past couple of weeks have been really nice weather. But the month before that, we had something like a month's worth of rain in a day.
Oh. And a month's worth of rain in England is a lot of rain.
Well, there is that. I mean, we have got flooding in this country in parts, as it is already. Luckily, I'm on the second floor and I've got a boat.
So you're set.
It's all good.
Is this boat something that you built yourself after hearing voices in your head, or something you bought?
Yeah, no, it's something I've built out of acacia wood. And I've measured it out in cubits, and I've also got some animals living in the house now with me. Not quite to every species, because I figured I'm not going to take 2 lions and tigers, because they're just going to eat everything else. So, and I'm going to leave the wasps at home as well. And the mosquitoes, we don't need them.
A man's got to have a plan. That's all I have to say. So, Bill, in the future, besides the acoustic site, what else is in the works for you guys over there at the Live2Play Network?
We're just constantly trying to keep up with where technology's headed and staying on top of new platforms and new social networks as they emerge. It's even just staying abreast of everything that's happening with the social networks is really a full-time job. So we've launched our iBook format specifically for the iPad. We're in a development period right now with mobile editions that will be viewable on non-Apple devices as well. It's just trying to keep up with the way people want content. I think that's one of the big differences between us and most of the websites and especially the print magazines. We don't tell people you have to take it in this format because that's the only way we're going to give it to you. We subscribe to the philosophy of we're going to put it in every single format we can think of, and that way you get to use it and view it in the format and on the device that you wanted to.
Now, you said that you just released the iOS format of these?
Yeah, we've actually used the iBooks format. I'll give you guys a link if you want to put it up on the site.
Yeah, we definitely do. Now, tell us where, you're going to give us the link to where people can go find this stuff at.
Right, they can actually download the file. We've done 2 of them now, one for Live2Play Worship, and we just finished the Live2Play issue 65, which features an absolutely brilliant band. I was so blown away when I saw them. It was, and I don't get blown away very easily anymore.
Well, do tell.
It's called the Queen Extravaganza. It's kind of like I guess you'd call it an officially sanctioned cover band. It was all the initial auditions were done online. All of those were looked at by Brian May and Roger Taylor. Mm-hmm. They got it down to about 20 or 30 people. And brought them all out to L.A. And at that point, it was Roger Taylor and Spike Edney, who was the touring keyboard player with Queen for years.
All right.
And their manager and producer, Roy Thomas Baker. And they put people in different configurations and got it all down. It's a 9-piece band with four lead singers. Everybody in the band sings. Wow. So they are doing every one of those vocals, and they're doing them live, and they're doing it without tracks, and they're doing it without pitch correction. That was something that Roger insisted on immediately, that there would be no pitch correctors or tracks even available to be used. So there wouldn't be any doubt about it.
And these guys blew you away, so that's really saying something.
They knocked me on my butt. I mean, I'm a big Queen fan, and it's not like they weren't just doing the hits. They were doing March of the Black Queen and Now I'm Here and Seven Seas of Rye. It was astounding. I actually stayed for 2 whole sets because they just knocked me on my butt. Wow. It's amazing.
I got to tell you, I definitely want to remember them, and it sounds amazing to me. Looking forward to hearing some of those guys soon, I guess.
Well, the active e-zine for Live2Play will be out in a couple of weeks, and then everybody will be able to get to it on the browser. And we have put up some audition footage, some sound check footage, and kind of a best of clips from some of the shows from fan video. And I think you'll be blown away. We put up Bohemian Rhapsody, the whole thing, because it's just it's astounding to see that. I mean, I saw Queen on the News of the World tour, and they couldn't do it. There was no way. I mean, they actually walked off stage during the whole vocal thing.
Really?
And then, because they didn't want anybody to think that they were miming or anything. It was just, it went to the track, and then they came back out at the end.
Wow.
And and 2 guitar players, so all that harmonized guitar is happening.
So this sounds like it's going to be really amazing. I'm totally looking forward to this now.
Yeah, they're going to start touring again pretty quick. Look for them in your neighborhood.
Well, sweet. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can identify some more people who might likely blow you away today. So we're going to
Just as a quick aside, I'm just going to let you know, Bill, if you're not watching the chat, Mark over at Butterflies Radio has offered you a little ad on Butterflies Radio if you want to record something and send it to him free of charge.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Mark.
And I got to let everybody know that the guys and gals over at Butterflies Radio are partnered with MSI and along with the Live2Play Network, and we really are happy to be partnering with all these guys and gals out there. So definitely you want to check their sites out if you haven't already. So, all right, gentlemen, we do have some business to take care of today, and that is listening to and reviewing some music on today's show. So let's get down to it today, and we'll start out with track number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation.
The streets of chance, where purpose
That is song number 1 on today's MSI. Now let's go ahead and take it over to Ian, find out what he thought. Ian, your thoughts on track number 1?
Yeah. I mean, my biggest thing with this track, I mean, everything sounds great. There's a good mix. There's a nice drum sound. The piano a little dominant in places, but still sounds great tonally and things like that. Vocals, she's got a nice voice. She's got quite a suitable voice for the song, is what I'm trying to say. But do you know what? I only really enjoyed this song from about 3 minutes onwards, because I found the first half quite boring, and especially during the verses, the drum patterns were just the same. There was no real sort of life to them, and I think the first whole half of the track lacked energy. Now, you know, some people will tell you that they're going for dynamics, but dynamics can still have energy and come down and alter the feel of the song. And yeah, I mean, the song did pick up after about 3:30. I mean, the heavy guitars coming in, the change of pace into the middle 8, where the drummer actually sort of woke up and go, "Oh yeah, I'm playing the track now. Let's give this some," and the whole thing picked up an energy. I mean, I can't think what it sounds like at the moment. Element of the chords maybe a bit heavier for them, but vocally some sort of the inflections are a little bit chordsy, and I think this has got a lot of commercial potential, but you've got to remember, you've got to keep your audience's attention in the first 30 seconds of the song. And as I said, I didn't really start enjoying this track properly until about 3 minutes onwards. I mean, it's well mixed, it's well produced, it's well written. It's just a bit stale in the start.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And Tom, what did you think of track number 1?
Well, I agree with Ian about the repetitiveness of the drums. It sounded like a drum loop, and it was way too loud in the verses. The piano was way over dominating. Yes, I'll create words as I go along. The mix was bad. It was very bad. There was a lot going on, and it was all crammed into a two-dimensional space where you couldn't hear all the interesting production that was going on. The dynamics are actually there. It just has to be mixed. You know, you don't just mix things so that everything's heard. You produce a mix just like you produce a record. So you bring this up here and bring these in here. There wasn't, you know, everything just came in. And it's like, here it is, folks. And the layering of the vocals you could barely hear. There was lack of space. I like this song, don't get me wrong. I think it has great commercial value, and I think if it were remixed and the drummers, if it's not a loop, then the drummer replay the parts. I think it was a loop because the snare sound just keeps banging in my head over and over again. And just balance it. It needs balances. Mixes are delicate things. It's just like, you know, the old vaudeville act where you got to try to keep the dishes up all balanced at the same time. You've got to be able to do that with the mix, and that's the biggest thing lacking here. I think this suffers from a bad mix. Vocal performance is good. The voice fits the song. The guitar parts I liked. The strings you could barely hear. They kept coming in and out. Overall, I'd say bring this back into the studio and spend actually a good 20 hours on the mix, and you would have one hell of a sounding song.
All right, Tom, I appreciate that. Thank you. And let's find out what Bill Evans from the Live2Play Network thinks. Bill?
I think it's a well-written song. I agree with both Ian and Tommy about the commercial potential. I think that if it were better mixed, you have a hit. But my problems with it, I agree about everything. You know, it's the school of mix everything louder than everything else. and which is a shame because the performance actually had some dynamics, which I don't hear enough of. I thought it was too long by at least a solid minute, and there were parts that were really repetitive that you could have cut down. I mean, the piano intro could have been cut by probably half. The middle guitar solo just repeats the same line like 4 times. You could cut that by half or get rid of it because the ending guitar solo is way better. Maybe it's just a case of going in the mix and carving out some sonic space with judicious use of EQ on some of the background instruments. But I found that when everything came in, I was having a hard time making out the vocal, which is a shame because she's got a really pleasant voice.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you, and thank you to the other guys as well. Let me introduce and share the name and artist of that track. The title of the track is called Purpose from YamTZ. YamTZ 750. It's actually Mark Shively, as Mark is going to tell us. And we appreciate them sending that track in to us. Appreciate that very much. Ian, you waved your hand in the air like you wanted to say something.
I was just going to say, and the parrot agrees too.
Well, there you have it. All right, gentlemen, we have 2 more tracks to listen to, so let's take a listen to track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation.
Take me away, take me anywhere, take me today. I don't really care who, why, or when. Now and then, I just gotta get out. Give me a break, give me anything, all I can take. Doesn't mean a thing, I'll say again. Now and then, I just gotta get out. A day to be, a day for me. We all have a time when we need to know everything's fine, but it's fine to go out and about, and I doubt that'll be very long. So what do you say? Will you come with me? How about today? In the sun we'll be out and about. We can shout as we're singing this song. A day to be, a day for me. La 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 gotta get out.
And that is track number 2 on today's MSI. Let's get my video back up here and go to Tommy first of all. Tom, what are your thoughts on track number 2?
Straightforward, simple arrangement. It seemed a little bottom light to me. I would like to hear more bottom end on the bass, a little bit stronger. I liked it. It's catchy. It's upbeat. My main complaint would be that a better treatment on the vocals, a little bit clearer, so that you could hear everything. The vocals were loud enough, but I think they should have been treated just as a little bit more TLC, and it would have been otherwise great. But like I said, straight to the point, short, sweet, and catchy. So I outside of wanting to hear more bottom end on the vocals and the bass, I thought it was okay.
All right, Tom, I appreciate that. Thank you. And heading over to the Live2Play Network, Bill Evans, what do you think?
I liked it a lot. I thought, I just really liked it a lot. I can understand where Tom's coming from on the bottom end, especially on the bass, but I can't imagine that anything on that song was recorded in the box. And recording an upright bass is pretty difficult unless you really know what you're doing, unless you've got a really good engineer who knows miking technique and how to get the most out of it. So I'm not surprised. I hear a lot of records that try to use an upright bass, and it's kind of buried in the mix. But I really actually liked everything about it. I thought the vocals were just kind of enchanting. It was really well done. And I'm not a big ukulele and accordion fan, but I liked it.
All right, thank you, Bill, and Bill's parrot as well. Ian, what did you think of track number 2?
Hey, he's not in the same room.
What's his name?
Rufus.
Rufus. We got to credit him on the show, Rich. But I am a ukulele fan, as you've probably seen me wearing my Ukulele Hero T-shirt on the show a couple of times. And I love this. I mean, something that Marty said in the chat room, that I've written down as well, is that I can really see this appearing on a mobile phone advert or a fashion label advert, you know, where they're running around outdoors in the sun, showing off all the new range of clothes and stuff like that down the beach in the swimwear and things like that. This is just charming, slightly quirky, really nice use of instrumentation. I mean, there were mix issues. I did find the vocals were too loud in the mix, and they did sound like they were clipping or something like that. Places might be the fact that I'm streaming, but they did sound very hot. And in places, that ukulele, which has been recorded well, I really like the tone they got out of it and everything like that, but it did get lost in the mix in places, especially when the accordion and stuff was coming in. And again, yeah, it did lack that sort of slight grind in the bottom end to sort of hold that sort of bounce together. I'd like to hear a bit more of the bass as well. Performances were fantastic. They were tight enough to be together, but loose enough to sort of sound folky. Because, you know, with a song like this, if you overproduce it and tighten it up so much, it just begins to sound wrong. And the whole groove just sat together really nice on this. I like the drum sound. It was very open, very underproduced, but it really fitted the style of the song. They really, really should take this and get this out there to advertising companies and get it licensed for adverts. Someone will pick it up if it's pushed in the right direction. I'm pretty much certain of that.
Oh, yeah, it's an iPad commercial.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. The title of that track is Take Me Away by Helen Austin. Helen Austin with Take Me Away. Thank you, Helen, for sending that into Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, as always, we do 3 tracks on the show. This is no exception. We have one more track for y'all to listen to. You're ready, I know. I'm ready, and I hope everyone else is too, because here it is, track number 3 on today's MSI.
Dream all the while, all the voices seem to
And there you have track number 3 on today's MSI. Let's go over to Mr. Bill Evans. Bill, what did you think of track number 3?
Well, first off, of the times I've done the show, at least, this is the strongest set of 3 tunes that I've heard yet. I mean, usually I can count on throwing one right out when we start debating, but they're all pretty strong this time. There's a couple things I didn't like. I hated the snare drum sound. And I thought at first that it was in the box, but there was a lot of inconsistencies in some of the ghost notes in terms of volume. And so I think it was probably actually played live. There's no beef. There's no bottom end. It sounds compressed within an inch of its life. But I like the vocal. The little synth thing at the end was kind of cool. It's fairly strong. I mean, take care of that drum sound and a couple other little things, and I think you're done.
All right, Bill, short and sweet. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Ian, your thoughts on track number 3?
Drums. It was all drums, and yeah, I agree. I didn't like some of the sounds that have been used. The snare, and there was an odd distorted tom or something in there as well, which sort of had some delay on it or something. And it was just too busy. It was clouding up everything, and it was too loud. It drove the song really well. The groove of the track was good, but it was just too in your face. And there's a really strong vocal performance going on there with some really nice use of harmonies, which is something we don't see a lot of on MSI at the moment. But you couldn't hear them. They were set so way back in the mix. In fact, the performances overall sounded pretty tight. But, I mean, even the bass, it was just a low-end rumble, just padding on notes, and it didn't really do much. And, again, you couldn't hear it because of, as Now has quoted me in the chat, drums. And, the feel of the track had a feel of, like, Manson, who were a sort of Brit band sort of in the 90s. And I love their music, and I think this is a really good song. And as just to echo what Bill said, that the songs tonight have been of an excellent quality across the board. But this really does suffer with that mix. Bring them vocals out, take them drums back, make that bass more prominent, and, sort of set things that are going off else around it. I don't even remember the lyrics because I could barely hear them in places. All the guitar parts and other synths that were happening because it was just drums.
All right, Ian, I think we get what you're saying. Drums, I think. Tommy, do you agree? What do you think, song number 3?
Well, I feel bad for song number 3 because it came after song number 2. Overall, it's a mishmash. That drum sound was too top-endy. I didn't like it. I couldn't make out the vocals. They were awash and non-distinct. It has the potential to be something. I like the flow, and it was just just a bad mix that makes it really hard to comment on individual parts and what was what. It needed a lot more separation, and it could that drums, like Ian said, drums, and we just the backgrounds. I agree with Ian. Also, were totally lost. And that top-endy snare sound was enough to drill teeth by.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you very much. And take the opportunity to introduce that track to everyone. It was called The Eye by the Dark Lights UK. The Dark Lights UK with The Eye. And we appreciate their sending that in to Music Scene Investigation as well. Now, as Ian has placed in the chat room for everybody, we'd like your opinions on these songs as well. So head over to our Be a Witness page and do just that, Be a Witness. Let us know what you thought of the tracks you heard today. And we'll turn everything over to the guys on the panel in just a moment. However, before I do, got a little surprise for you today. Heard about a new movie coming out. I just thought I'd share a clip with everyone. New York City, no one is safe. Crime abounds. People are afraid. But there's a new hero come to save the day.
I'm Batman, damn it!
Tom Chianti is the Sleepless Knight.
Goodbye, Dad. Bye.
And that's a new movie, as I said. It's going to be coming out sometime fairly soon, and we certainly hope that everybody can tune into it. And Tom, our very own Tom Chianti, is going to be the hero. Tom? You feel heroic?
Todd, those weren't your abs, were they?
My abs?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I look a little bit better in a Batman suit.
Oh, well.
Okay.
We definitely wanted to share that with everybody, and a lot of work went into that, Ian, and I tell you did a fine job on it.
Yeah, let me just tell you that is something we recorded ages ago that I had stuck on my hard drive, and I dug up the other day, and obviously with the new Batman film being out, it seemed quite relevant. And I just had to do something with it, Tom, you know?
Yeah, so you did do something with it.
All right. Now, gentlemen, I hate to break up the fun, but you also have another task at hand. You have to decide on a song of the week.
Today is easy.
Yeah, I agree.
It is easy, but
now, do we think it's
also
easy with the same song?
I say number 2.
Yeah, I do too.
And I do too, but I do want to echo. I mean, it's a very quick song of the decision. I think song of the week decision this week, but I do want to echo what we've said earlier. All of the tracks this week have come in at a really, really strong level, and it's nice to see some quality indie music coming through the doors.
Yeah, it's really well written. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, don't go getting me wrong. I mean, we may bite and scratch and whatever, but it's all for trying to make something better than what it is. No matter how good it is, you know, nothing's ever perfect. And these are 3 strong songs, and they, you know, each one had their drawbacks, but number 2 just is poppy, quirky, you know, and stood out. And the other 2, on any other given week with 2 other different songs, you know, we could have been a different vote.
Yeah, I agree. I think the theme running through all of our comments was, mixing isn't just pushing up or down volume faders. You've got to learn how to carve out sonic space for everything in your mix. And I think some of the time it wasn't a case of this being too loud or that being too loud. They were just occupying the same spectrum, the same part of the EQ. You know, you have to sometimes cut some things out to leave room for something else.
Yeah, like I had said earlier, you have to produce it. It's not just, everything has a place and a time, and even if every part is awesome, you can't have 9 awesome parts playing at the same time because they detract from each other.
Right.
And this show showcased that while all songs were performed well, they just needed to be, as was said earlier, sculpted.
And, dynamics come not just through a good performance, but also through a good mix as well. You can influence the dynamics of a track heavily through mixing.
All right. Well, there you have it. Song number 2, Take Me Away by Helen Austin. Going to be the track or the song of the week this week, and sounds like a real good deal. Bill, I appreciate your being here, man. You got a lot going on. I don't know how you do it, though. I really
I'm insane. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy it.
Well, we definitely enjoy having you back on with us again soon if we can get that worked out.
Anytime you guys want me.
All right.
Well, hopefully, are we seeing you Wednesday, Bill?
Oh, wait, that's the hit list is this Wednesday, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Or is Bob doing it?
I think Bob was going to do it.
Cool.
All
You guys
right.
And what
are
I
like
want to
Bobby
know
Joe
is,
Radio
will
guy.
you wear the cape and hood next time?
Absolutely not, dude. Not gonna happen.
Well, if Ian has his way, all we need is a picture of you. So smile.
Great.
All
Hey,
right.
I just use Spider-Man. Doesn't matter who's in there then, does it?
Now, Spider-Man, I'm cool with. Spider-Man, I got no problems with. But Batman's a nutcase.
All right. Well, there you have it. Want to remind everybody to join us again next week on Music Scene Investigation. Our guest panelist, Ian, is?
That's a very good question, actually, Rich. Let me
Oh.
just check for you.
I-
I'm actually,
I know that you memorize these things.
it should be Mr. John Hodgson.
All right. So John Hodgson joining us next week on MSI. And don't forget, as Bill alluded to, this Wednesday, Music Scene Investigation Hit List, where we'll take all the tracks from last month that were Song of the Week, throw them in the arena together, and find out who the Band of the Month will be. Of course, that's brought to you by the Live2Play Network, SoundPro Live, along with our partners, Butterflies Radio, the Indie Music Bus as well. So thanks again, guys, for being here. Thanks to our panelists as well, and we'll see you all again next time right here on Music Scene Investigation.
And thanks to
Bye,
Rufus.
Take me away, take me anywhere, take me today. I don't really care who, why, or when. Now and then, I just gotta get out. Give me a break, give me anything, all I can take. Doesn't mean a thing, I'll say again. Now and then, I just gotta get out. A day to be, a day for me. We all have a time when we need to know everything's fine, but it's fine to go out and about, and I doubt that'll be very long. So what do you say? Will you come with me? How about today? In the sun we'll be out and about. We can shout as we're singing this song. A day to be, a day for me. La 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 I just gotta get out.